hot, but that was like my version of a panic attack. And it didn't last long. But as a kid, I put the pussy on the pedestal, bro, like really badly. I never hugged girls growing up because I always thought they were too good for me, like really, really badly.
Aw.
Yeah, I had friends who like would like me, and I would never pick up on the things that they liked me. And I would always get messages outside of like high school. They're like, I had a crush on you, and you just never advanced. And it was just because I couldn't see myself with them because I always thought they were too good for me. And then I did have crushes, and like that's a whole fucking different story. But as I got older, I started to do streams. So I was on the front wave of League of Legends streamers. So I was friends with like Lily Pichu, Dyrus, Hotshot GG. I was friends with a lot of them, and I started to stream. I managed a little following when I was like younger, and it helped me break because I couldn't really
Should have
talk.
kept with that.
Dude, if I would have predicted Lily Pichu being a millionaire with like a million plus subs, yeah, I probably would have tried my best to be her friend. But she was a nobody then. She was a nobody. She just voice acting with me and a few friends. I could not have predicted that one, bro. Could not have predicted that one.
Oh,
She's
that was
a
a real
bitch.
big fumble.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was not a nice individual. She only really talked to me and my group because we did voices, and she needed sometimes people to practice with. But once she got her stick,
Leak her DMs.
it was on Skype. Their Skype got shut down, and I wouldn't do that to her because she'd probably end up suing me or something. But yeah, she fakes her voice.
Yeah, probably.
She fakes her voice, and she's a bit more. She's not mean, but she was territorial. So if you had a shtick that was just like her and you were a girl, she fucking hated you. She didn't hate me, but she hated the other girls who were like Asian,
Yeah, I
who
know
were doing the
people
high
like
pitched
that.
voice.
Yeah.
She didn't like competition, even though there was like no one really competing with her, at the time. She definitely made her thing with her Annie and things back then. That's what she was like known for. But anyway, I got older, I got more confident in myself, and then around the age of like 25, I started to get real blown panic attacks. And I ended up having a lot of drama for my streams and my friends and my community. And for my entire life, I didn't drink. I didn't smoke because my mom was a heavy cigarette smoker. We're talking about 2 packs daily, in the car, windows never rolled down. I developed like almost anxiety when I was around people who smoked. And it's weird because my friends smoked and everyone knew I was gonna like want to be away from it. So people were respectful. I had so much mental wall blocks that even my friends, when I turned to 21 or like, it was my birthday, they're like, dude, we're getting you drunk. And they're like, have you been drunk before? And I'm like, no. They're like, do you drink? I'm like, no. So my tolerance should be low by default. Even though I'm 5'8", and at the time they were trying to get me drunk, I was like 180, 190. So I'm pretty stocky. So I guess with that, I might have more resistance to it. But I'm still a newbie, right? So I should technically get drunk after a decent amount of shots. They tried to really hurt me, and you're wondering who your friends are, but they were like, dude, the objective is to get you drunk. It's me, my dad, and a few friends. We go to a bar. We're bar hopping. Shot, mixed drink, shot, mixed drink. That night, I think I had like 12 or 13 shots, not including the cocktails. And I'm very sober, very coherent. And the reason why is I need to stay in the driver's seat. Subconsciously, I didn't know that was what I wanted, but I had control problems. Melatonin. Didn't like melatonin because melatonin makes you sleepy. It puts you from driver's seat to going into the bed, right? And I didn't like that. Anesthetics, when you're going through surgery, I didn't like the idea of anesthetics, but I didn't understand why it was I didn't like these things. As I get older, panic attacks get worse. I'm getting them all the time. I'm like, basically, I couldn't even eat food. I developed something called chewing anxiety. Do you know what that is?
No.
So you're eating food, textures, and I remember I was eating Doritos. I think it was Doritos. And as I'm eating them, the thought goes in my head, what if you swallowed this and it cut your throat? Just like I think everyone has had the thought. But for some reason, my brain was in the perfect like wavelength to cause subconscious damage. And since that day, randomly, I would get chewing. It's called chewing anxiety, where you're chewing your food and then your throat goes, uh-uh, your jaws no longer want to work. So I have food in my mouth like this. I can't chew it anymore because I'm like freaking out and I can't swallow. So what do you have to do? You have to spit out the fucking food. Sometimes I couldn't even spit. So I had to reach into my mouth and pull the fucking food out, right? Like Laffy Taffy, instant triggered me. Certain chocolates, instant triggered me. I live in Texas, so barbecue's big here. I love brisket. I would eat brisket. It was fatty. The texture would trigger me. Like, what if you can't chew the fat or the meat and you choke on it? It's like, these are the thoughts that are triggering it, but they're so in the back of my mind that I'm not honestly thinking about it. I'm just trying to enjoy the food. But it was triggering me all the time, and I was at the verge of like breakdown almost, you know. For me, it took a long time to get to that breakdown moment because it was like years of random anxiety, years of random panic attacks. And I grew up never having problems, but little did I know I really did have problems. They just were building up to set point. I turned 32 in November, or the last November. 2026 comes around. And because cigarettes were so taboo in my life, I could never get drunk because I had mental blocks. If I'm going to be in the driver's seat, which means I can't lose control. So even if I'm drinking, my subconscious is fighting all the fun parts, right? I never smoked weed. I was against weed because it's smoke, and smoke from cigarettes, my brain thinks they're basically the same thing. Even though I'm well educated, I think cannabis is a great plant, and I've always supported cannabis. I think people want to use it for whatever, sure. But anyway, like I said, 2026 comes around and I'm like, fuck it. I want to try to get drunk. I'm like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like. And I want to experience it so badly, because why would millions of people do it if it wasn't a good thing? People say, oh yeah, you're going to loosen up. You're going to have fun. But I could never understand it. And I used to go, man, I must be autistic or something, because I can't ever experience it. So we start doing little drinking sessions on the weekends, gaming, and I'm like really pushing myself to get a little bit drunk, you know. I'm playing League of Legends. Every time I die in an ARAM, I take a little swig of my drink. So I die a lot sometimes. I'll die like 10, 12 times. That's a nice little swig. That's half my drink. Refill time after the second game. Start drinking. And then it hits me. After pushing it enough times and trying to have fun with my friends, I get my first effect, which was the numbing effect. So if you drink enough, you're going to feel numb. I never felt it prior to that. Even though I would have like crazy amount of shots or drinks, I never got numb. And you're asking, what does this all have to do with anxiety? So as I was experiencing the new effects, I started to get a bit excited because I felt like I was getting one step closer to maybe experiencing the fun. I eventually drank enough. One day we're playing Repo and all my like close friends are there. We're all playing and I'm starting to like, I don't know, like loosen up and have fun. And it was weird because I was conscious of it happening. And I'm like, wait, I think I'm drunk, guys. Like, I think I'm drunk. I think it's happening. You know, you're like laughing about it because it's so funny. I'm like, I think it's really happening. And everyone's like fucking freaking out because it's like, they know that I had this like weird resistance to it. Not necessarily physically, but mentally. And then I was like, but we have to do this again next week. I have to do this again next week. So I was like so excited to like feel it. Next week comes, I get sick. I end up drinking a lot with sweets. So this is when I learned you don't drink and eat candy at the same fucking time, and especially a lot of sugar, because you will get fucking sick and nauseous. So that week was terrible. We repeat the same thing again next week, and I'm trying again to get drunk. But every single time I managed to get drunk, I noticed it was getting easier and easier and easier. That being said, I was like, well, I tried the drinking thing. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm still doing it to this day. Obviously, it's been 4 months deep. Every Friday we do a little bit of drinking, and I'm able to get drunk now. I'm noticing that it's getting easier and easier, which is it's making me happy, because that means whatever mental walls I had built up, they're being broken on it. And I think these walls need to get broken down, because I can't ever live in the present because I'm always thinking about global events. My levels of empathy are really high. I'm always thinking about, you know, people who are hurt or suffering, and it cripples me pretty much mentally. So to be able to live in the moment and just think about myself and my friends, it's really good for me. Like, I feel like it's been a nice change of pace. So I've had dreams, and this is going to get really gross for people who don't like it, and don't worry about it. I don't do this anymore. But because my mom was a heavy smoker, ever since I was young, I would always randomly have a dream about trying to steal or sneak cigarettes, right? All the time, like, and even up until, like I said, I'm 32. Randomly, I would have dreams, and it was like all the time. I would get like all the time. It was like the forbidden fruit, like all the time, always coming, always coming, always coming, always coming. And I looked at my girlfriend. Well, I told her when she smoked when she was younger. I said, "There's one rule that I can't tolerate. It's people who smoke cigarettes." I said, "Promise me you'll never do it." She said, "Okay, I will never smoke a cigarette." You know, and I always thought that that was like the last like thing I could ever tell her not to do. And then I looked her dead in the eye when I woke up one morning, and I said, "Hey, how would you feel about trying one with me?" And I wasn't doing it because I thought it was cool. I wasn't doing it because I thought it was this, but I was asking myself, why am I having this dream over and over and over again? You know? And I think it's just because although cigarettes may be bad for you, one is not going to kill you, right? And I tried one, and it wasn't what I expected. I was expecting coughing. I was expecting like it to taste like really, really nasty. And the overall experience, I would say, was probably more positive because when it happened, it was in the chill moment. So my brain now discovers like if I ever was to smoke, it would have to be with the right vibe. Now, that being said, after I'm done with said smoke, I realize how fucking gross it is. Like, I will taste it and I'm like, oh, that's gross. And the smell, I'm like, oh, that's gross. But in the moment, my brain now, I guess, looked at it as in it's not as bad as you think it is, but it's still bad, you know? So it kind of like let out a lot of, again, more mental blocks in my head because people start off doing something because it's a coping mechanism. It's like just to get away. And that's how a lot of people start off smoking. And obviously it becomes a really bad addicting habit. That being said, another thing after I tried the cigarette, I was like, okay, now what does weed feel like? You know, I kept hopping to one thing to another. And this is where if I was ever to give anyone advice, I would say maybe consider it at least a few times. So I was still having really bad anxiety. My panic attacks and my chewing anxiety didn't go away yet. But I was getting more comfortable trying something that was like way outside my comfort zone. I buy something from my friend. It's like a little pen. And he's like so surprised. He's like, okay, man, like it's brand new. It's like, it's for you. And I'm like nervous as fuck. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to try this. And as I'm doing everything, my girlfriends were always right next to me, like willing to deep dive with me. You know, she's a ride or die girl. So she's trying them out with me, and she's done all this stuff many times before. So she knows what she's doing. I'm trying it. I'm hitting it. And then because my system's on high alert all the time, no matter what, I'm getting panic attacks. And I'm like, holy shit, it's triggering my chewing anxiety, it's triggering my panic attacks. I'm like, this is terrible. But the thing about weed, if you obviously have done it, it doesn't last very long. It's not hours and hours and hours of panic attack. So it comes and goes in like little waves, right? I was getting panic attacks so often. The weird thing is I started to learn how to deal with them. And this was something that I didn't expect. The more I did it like randomly throughout like a week, the easier it was to manage the anxiety. And this was something that I did not calculate for. I've heard stories of people saying that their mental well-being got better or their anxiety got less, but I didn't understand the mechanics behind it. I thought it was like, I take weed, I feel good, I no longer have panic attack. And that's not how I thought it was gonna. I thought anything, that's how it was gonna work for me. It was more like I take weed, I get panic attack. I get panic attack so many times that panic attack doesn't really affect me as hard anymore. And then one day, after getting like a trying attempt to get high, like I would push my levels every now and then. I always graded it in the system of like 1 through 10. So my high was like no more like over like a 3 or 4. Hey, so it was still really low. We're just talking about some experiences and like anxiety and stuff.
I'm the owner. Sure.
Hey,
so as I'm doing it, the chewing anxiety ended up going away. I haven't had it since then. And it's crazy because even though like I think it's crazy that it works, I'm not necessarily one to still smoke, but I'm glad that I was able to like try something new out. and push past that, because something that I would have said that something is like bad, right? Like drinking, smoking, or doing whatever. Like something I would never associate with myself ended up making like 80% of my anxiety go away. So I know you said you don't drink and whatnot, but maybe sometimes trying something new and like getting out your comfort zone would help you. And you mentioned it, so that's my whole story here is yeah, try something new, see if it helps you. It might not be the best experience the first time. Happy. But I mean, it definitely did something for me, and since then, every now and then on Fridays, we just drink and have fun now. It's like that's my whole story. But I'm like way better now mentally, I feel like.
All instances are education.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hello.
We got the reinforcements.
7 minutes.
Reinforcements.
Oh my god.
So, you like Spider-Man, buddy?
I was gonna hear your story, Graham, but I guess people are gonna be around us for a bit, so you can.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't.
Come on, I love you guys.
Maybe.
We can make this work.
On this game.
What's up, buddy?
Oh shit. Get it. You're getting a free show, little bro.
What's up, baby?
Thank you. Thank you.
What's up, Wesker?
It's all over my
7 minutes.
screen. You're
7
too
minutes is all I
pretty.
can start to play with you.
Come on. I need your help.
I'm gonna fucking eat you.
Come on. Come on, man. Teamwork makes the dream.
Hey, can you laugh again?
Use your
You little
feet.
fucking faggot.
Thanks.
Please, this is
Hey.
me.
You're so
High five
welcome.
my foot. High five my foot.
Boom.
High five my
Good
penis.
boy.
I'm so
Good
lonely.
boy.
Please. I'm asking nice.
Ugh.
I'll even
Yo.
start dancing for you.
Nah.
Do it.
What's up?
Come on, come on. You can do
Slap
this.
his
You can
dick.
do this. Please.
I can't
I'm
though.
asking
What did you think of his story?
I'm asking
What, what?
nicely. Come on.
What did you think of Cammy's story?
Come on.
Just do it.
I thought it was great. It was a great story. I was very interested.
Yeah, I think it's one of the world's greatest stories.
At other people.
Yeah,
You're not allowed.
that's like not. It's like award winning.
Okay.
Probably. Well,
Now be a good boy.
if I was an award, I definitely want to go to that story.
That's gay. Kill
No.
yourself.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
definitely.
Albert Wesker. I can't.
My
be
balls
gay.
hurt from how angry I am at you.
What if I jerked you off? What if I jerked you off to relieve that stress in your bones, huh? What if I did that? Huh?
Come on,
So
you
what do
can
you want,
watch,
huh?
you can record. Teamwork.
Why did you start
Teamwork.
talking to us?
You came over here and talked to us. What do you mean?
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
because I love you. You're so beautiful, little bro.
Thank you,
What
older
the
bro.
You
fuck?
literally came to me and was like,
I
like
came to
Spider-Man?
poke you
That's what you
if you
just
catch
said.
my drift. Yeah!
What's your favorite Spider-Man movie?
The Amazing
The one
Spider-Man
where he
2.
whips his dick out.
What's up,
Mm.
sweetheart?
Oh.
One where he whips his dick out.
Yeah, what? I'm a fucking spider
Sorry, I don't know
tuner.
why I ate your thumb. Spider?
Wait, you got
Is
it?
it
You
my
mean like,
voice? Am I not attractive enough?
Yeah, I had to
You
realize.
got
Spider-Man? Whoa.
I'm
Hey,
supposed to be.
You fucking.
No, don't offer that as an evil word.
No, it's only
Yes.
a bad
Spider-Man.
word if you use it badly. You're not black.
It's an evil word, and you cannot use
If we're
it.
talking about the
You're
series,
evil for
I
making
think
it evil.
I'm just a big fan of like the soundtrack of Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's like super goated. That's what when
Girls,
you said Spider-Man
promise
2,
me
I
you'll
was like,
never
oh,
say
you
that
just
word
love
ever in your entire
electro
lives.
theme song. That shit goes hard.
I actually love
What?
the
Promise me you'll never say that word that he
Spider
said.
guy and
The evil one.
Spider-Man from the.
I'd never
from
say that
film.
word.
He's talking
It's
about
okay.
Oh, fucking.
No,
pig.
dude,
That's
stop.
what
You're going to influence them into
the
saying bad
Spectacular
words.
Spider-Man soundtrack.
Was it?
So
Was
Hey,
it?
remember, don't say nick. It's a naughty word.
it's
It's a very
Yeah, it
bad
really is
word.
good.
Look, if you're gonna
But I
say
think the
it,
problem with
say
Spider-Man as a
not
is
nick.
he was
The R
too
is
handsome,
bad.
too charming for Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like everyone
I'm
has the same
helping,
complaints. He's
T.
just
I'm
too.
telling them it's bad.
counter-offer.
You're being evil right now.
Amazing
I'm so
Spider-Man
Detail
comic.
from
Yeah.
Because I'm a protector of all people in the whole entire world.
The original comics.
And I protect
That
everyone.
is the
He is
cringiest
an
shit I've
irresponsible
ever
kid
heard.
who has the wealth
Mouth
on
in
his
this
shoulders.
game.
He is set up to be
I'm
one
not-
of the
I'm
smartest
straight.
people in the verse. And the
Hey,
reason we think that he is a
makes you
nobody
gay.
now is because of the Kobe movies.
Listen,
and they
let me
made
get
him
on
a
your level
nobody
real
now.
quick. I keep emoting. I'm sorry, let me stop.
Genius guy.
Listen,
Yeah,
No.
I love you. I trust you.
Thanks.
you seem like a cool guy. But
Thanks.
you can't be saying shit fringe like that in VR. You'll get bullied. Don't do that.
He's supposed
I want to see you go places,
I'm not
bro.
saying he needs to be a
You
loser.
specifically.
He needs a struggle. And
I mean,
Andrew
yeah,
Garfield
Do you-
outside
do we know each other?
Do I need to use my real voice?
the only time
I'll
he
get
had struggle
to you.
was when Gwen died.
Son.
And they
What?
you know, it's big.
You're catapulting in there.
That is true.
Yeah.